I'm going to take you through my baby process today. We'll start with candling eggs and go from there.
So Gator, what are you doing now?
Checking fertility before we put them in the hatcher.
Fertility before you put them in the hatcher?
Yeah,
okay.
Make sure we're only putting fertile eggs in the hatcher to save space. And
okay, so the ones that you're pulling out right now out of the tray,
they're junk.
you're putting them in that bucket, they're not fertile.
Yep, exactly.
Right? Slow down on the end so we can just see one of what you're looking for.
Right there, you see that one? Not fertile.
Not fertile. This one is not fertile.
See the difference? See the air sac?
So the air sacs we're looking for is fertile?
Yeah, you'll see like that one's yellow. No, not there. If you look, you can actually see babies moving. You'll see them shifting in there.
That's fertile.
Yeah.
All right.
Not fertile.
Not fertile?
Not fertile. 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 My son was about 11 years old. We were in here, we picked up every egg and candled them.
Every egg?
I looked over and he's doing it this way. I said, what in the hell? He was probably 11 or 12 and came up with this way of candling.
A better strategy, huh?
Yeah, shit.
So you lay all the eggs out on the table, tray after tray after tray.
You want to start on that end, Mario?
Yeah.
Here. There you go. Get a flashlight and light. Takes forever in one person. Towards the end of the season, the roosters start getting tired, the fertility goes down, but
okay, so it's towards the end of the season, that's when you have less.
You'll get less fertility then. Hens are wore out, roosters are wore out.
How many eggs typically are you expecting out of one hen?
I don't know, just on an average, if you want to do numbers, I breed out of almost 300 hens for 9 weeks, and we set 10,500 eggs this year. Okay. So whatever you did that, I don't know.
10,500.
Usually a hen will lay 3 to 4 eggs a week. You know, I mean, typically most hens will lay every other day, 2 days, skip a day. So they all have different. My yellow legs lay a lot better than my blue face. The A seals lay like horrible.
The A seals lay horrible. Is there anything you can do with the A seals?
Not really. It's just the
genetics.
They'll lay 3 or 4 eggs, go to setting. Where some hens will lay 12, 14 eggs, go to setting. The blue face lay 1 egg every 2 or 3 days compared to a yellow egg. Some of them lay it every day. You know, just like anything else. Breeds have different characteristics, I guess. You know.
So you haven't found anything that can increase the egg laying of the.
Well, I mean, obviously you can get them to lay them better, more. Like this egg here, you can see it was fertile at one time and then died. I'll show you the difference. Like, see, this is egg at day 18. Let me get the light right. See.
Got you.
From black to a good air sac. The size of the air sac, if you look on these, the humidity's perfect. If you have a huge air sac, your humidity is usually too low in your incubator. If your air sac's really, really tiny on these fertile ones and you have a problem hatching, it's because your humidity's too high. The air sac, if you can Google it. I mean, there's all kinds. You can learn all this on Google easier than me. But the size of the air sac will help determine to let you know if you're running your humidity right. And if you're having problems hatching, you can look at day 18. Like this one died. You can see right there. That should be a perfect solid black line. This is day 18. This one, it looks more like a 9 or 10 day old embryo. But see that line in there? He died. It should be a perfect black and white line at this age. These are 18 days in. At this age, you can almost see them moving at different times. You will see them moving.
At day 18.
Yeah. Look at this one. I'm going to show you something. Everybody would point. Hey, see this egg? You almost can't see it. Well, the air sac ended up on the bottom. So look, when I candle it, see how it's solid black? Now you flip it upside down, the air sac's there. That egg ended up setting the whole time upside down and it still was fine. They should always be point down, but some of the eggs are hard to tell. So but you can read that air sac size and it'll tell you a lot about what your incubator's doing, or if you're doing it correctly, or too high or too low. The biggest, I get guys all the time messaging about incubators and humidity.
Humidity?
And the problem is, as soon as they go to, the chicks will go to start pipping, they get stuck inside the egg. Well, the general consensus is, okay, you need more moisture, right? It just makes sense. But actually, what I found is the humidity's too high, because what happens, you pump a lot of moisture into these eggs, and then as soon as they pip that shell, it basically, they dry out because the egg is wet, you know what I mean? And it kind of like glues them to the egg. So I've had luck with a lower, I never pump a ton of moisture. I do 55 the whole time. I never bump it up. I don't move it. I set them at 55. I keep them at 55. I hatch at 55, and I do a lot better that way than trying to go up to 70 or 65 and all this crazy stuff. I do better just leaving them at 55. They're 55 and they stay at 55. To me, less is more on this whole deal. The less things you do, the less things you can mess up.
What type of incubator do you use?
These are nature forms.
Nature forms?
Yeah, I had GQFs before that. And, I mean, they're nice, but for this amount, you would have to set the same amount of eggs as this one nature form, I would need 10 GQFs. And obviously, you got 10 times the machines, you got 10 times the problems.
Right.
So. See, like this air sac, see how huge it is? The baby died. It's got a huge air sac. That baby died halfway through or whatever, you know. Just as breeding season goes, you're going to have weaker eggs and less make it.
What day schedule do you candle?
18. I pull them out at 18. I put them in the hatcher, and that's when I candle.
Okay.
You can candle an egg at 7 days. It's just a lot harder. You can't go quite as fast. This way you can pretty much fly on it. Day 7 or day 14, it takes 14 you can tell pretty easy. 7, there's just basically an eyeball and a spider off of it.
No, like this one, see that one's like...
Yeah, it's bad, so pick it up. You'll see the difference.
It's just a giant air sac, so that's what threw me
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, it should be a real definitive line when you run your light across there. These are all cross eggs, everything here.
See, look, that one went to the side.
Yeah, it's bad. Is it? Pick it up and check it. Put the, yeah, see it's bad. See how you can see through that? It should basically be black and clear at this point. If there's anything else, it's pretty much bad. .42 is working.
That's a weird one. No?
Yeah, see, it's still good. It's just a weird shaped air sac.
Yeah.
You see them moving? Watch, if you hold it, you'll see them moving. See it?
Yeah.
See that line? That baby's moving in there. If we do this tomorrow morning, there'll be babies here. They'll start hatching on Monday morning. I get babies start hatching about 19, 20 days. One day I didn't have time on Sunday. I was like, that'll be fine. We come in here Monday morning, there's babies standing there looking at us. I was like, oh Lord. It wasn't hard to tell the fertile ones. Were you here that day?
No. I remember you telling me.
Yeah, we're putting them in the hatching trays, putting babies in the hatching trays. Done with that.
Done?
See it?
Hit the light.
Yeah. This door.
All right, guys, these are ones that are no good. These are what the trays look like after Gator has candled them.
I'll get a pen and stuff. I'll have you count them.
I'm gonna start putting them together.
So, Gator, what are you about to do now?
What we go through now? What's up, Joe?
I can find you that.
Working, man. You hide from it. Can't help. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, here's what's happening. there's how many eggs. Like, we only set pure brood pens anyways. So like all these we didn't set, but brood pen 33 we set 74 eggs, 34, 77. This is how many eggs were set out of each brood pen. Now we'll go through, right, how many candled, fertile, and then how many hatched. So you can basically, like, if you go back to week 7, these are already done. Out of brood pen 1, there was 1 egg, 6 eggs set, 4 candled good. That's the 3 hatched. So we have a candle to hatch ratio and a set to hatch ratio, and that's for every brood pen every week. You see what I'm saying? So overall, set to candle ratio, we had an 86% fertility that week, and of the candle ones, we hatched 95%. Of the egg set, we hatched 82.57%. That's done every week.
It's done every week.
If you go back and look, we have, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is the paper I'm doing, and then it transfers, and once it goes through the computer, it prints out like that. If that makes sense. Like week 5, we're set January 25th, 2023. And we had 836 babies.
January, 836.
Week 7, we hatched 682.
Had 682.
Here's some staggering numbers. You want to see some crazy stuff? That was it. Put it in there. This is how many eggs out of each brood pen. This doesn't include, I don't believe, I'm going to look, but I don't think this even includes this week. That's how many, that's week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah.
These numbers over here is what?
Brood pen numbers. There's the total number of eggs collected this year.
$9,324 eggs.
So we can tell exactly what brood pens produce how many numbers. You know what I mean? You'll see some of these hens started good, ended bad. You know what I mean? So we can go back and track what hens laid how many eggs. But that's the total number of eggs set this year. This week we set 1,202 eggs. That's what we just candled, 1,202 eggs.
So what you just candled right now, 1,202 eggs. So right now you're about to go through and count and see exactly out of that 1,202 how many was fertile, correct?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just showing you different things, you know what I mean? Every brood pen is assigned a toe punch. What's that? When we go to punching. You can show that, I don't care. And that's how when I'm punching, the only thing I worry about is this. I don't have to worry about numbers and this and that. I know brood pen 27 is both rights, outside, left. I know, you know what I mean? So.
Okay, so the outside line, this line right here is the
Brood
brood
pen
pen,
number.
right? Next to it is?
Toe punch.
Okay. So right now you're waiting for Mario to give you a count?
Yeah, well, he's kind of separating them and getting, it's easier to count them if you condense them down. Otherwise, you go to counting 50 eggs.
Right.
This way you can just count by sixes because there's.
So you have to worry about no space in the trays, right?
Yeah, just makes it a little easier.
All right, Gator, and I see numbers on these eggs, what they stand for.
That's your brood pen number.
Okay, so brood pen numbers is written on the eggs.
You can leave that door open, Joe. It's cooler with that open. It's hot in here.
This is the hatcher. Gator, how many eggs can a hatcher hold?
I can put 12 hatching trays or 14 in there, so I don't know. The most I've ever put in there is about 1,000 eggs or so.
So 1,000 eggs. This hatcher can hold 1,000 eggs. And how many eggs can an incubator hold?
A little less than 3,000, right at 3,000.
So Gator, can you talk to us a little bit about how you set your humidity and temperature?
Yeah, close that handle if you would.
Okay.
Hello. There we go. Right here's my set points. I set it at 99.5 temp, 55 humidity. And this will regulate itself, where GQFs, you got to do it, it's a little bit more manual, but that's my temps and humidity that I set at.
All right, so your temp is 99.5 and your humidity is 55.
I do the same thing over here. I raise my temp 0.3 degrees, and this runs at 55, 56, the exact same. It's just an older setup.
Okay, so older setup, all right.
But I stay 55 humidity the whole way through.
55 humidity the whole way through.
Yep. I do not increase it. I don't lower it. I don't do anything. I've had better
results.
Yeah, the babies come out looking better that way.
The babies come out looking better with setting your humidity at that 55,
yeah, just leaving at 55. So.
Do you think all incubators are like this, or you just learned that works for this incubator?
I had the same thing with GQS. When I had the GQFs, and then I had some homemade incubators, some redwood, everything worked if I just kept it the same. When you go to increasing it, I had a lot of them stick and had more problems, and I've had better luck this way.
With 55, right?
But leave it at 55, or that's the best luck I've had, you know what I mean? So.
Gator.
What's that? Oh, what's wrong?
All right, so Gator, what are you doing right now?
What I got, this thing has different size compartments, obviously. So I kind of know how many eggs will fit in each size compartment. Then what I'll do is like this will hold up to about 40 eggs, this section. So I'll look for a section or one that has right around 40, and we'll put them all in here, and then we kind of make them work, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So is it particular brood pens going? No.
No, okay. All it is it goes by number of eggs, where they go in here. When they hatch, we can see it, and that's what we mark them. You know what I mean? Because as long as, so that's how it works. Is that all of them, Mario?
Yes, sir.
See, like, I knew that you can fit about 40 eggs in this section. See what I'm saying? There's still room for them to roll around. There's plenty of room to hatch. There's no problem.
And it was all 36s, right?
Yep. Now 40s will go here because there's 36 40s.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you'll put those dividers in there for ones that got smaller numbers,
Exactly.
right?
Like right now we're getting ready to, as soon as they're done with that bigger group, then I'll jump over here and I'll start. Normally I have all my brood pens. I have my smaller brood pens, my pure one. Like I'll have whole trays of small ones. This one's all crosses pretty much, except for a few brood pens that I wanted to keep going with. So 51's right here, Mario. Right here. 15s will go here. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Number 14s will be next. We'll just stack them here for now.
Very good email.
Well, I just set them over here and start over. What number's down there, Mario? So I can make room. Let them 30. All right, go ahead and bring them. You can probably bring the whole tray. A lot easier, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should be here.
There's a little bit of 16s.
Yeah, just don't put them in there yet. Hey.
So basically, this is the last part before they go in the hatcher, correct?
Yep. We'll line these up when we're done. We'll spray them with Tektral, put lids on them, and then stack them in there, and we're done. 34's here, Mario.
We got a few, about a dozen of 35s.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put these, and then we'll put that. Good.
55 33s.
Any 14s?
14s is 13.
15s.
15s is 8.
16.
4.
33.
55.
34.
Just get 51. You want that?
Go ahead and 51.
51, there is 7.
34.
34 is going to be 67, 34s.
35s.
35 is 13.
No, there should be way more than that.
Oh, hold on. You're right.
I hope so.
Yeah, so that's 13. $53.
That sounds better. 36s.
36 is 37. You got 131.
131.
Unless it was a 37.
That's a 7. Just didn't get marked right. 31s weren't in there.
Okay.
37s. You can just go down the line. Just keep, all the numbers are just in a row. So.
Okay, you already got 33.
Yep.
And
We're at
30.
37s now.
Okay. 57.
Okay.
59.38.
Okay.
$65.39.
Okay.
$36.40s.
Okay.
36.41.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
I was gonna say it should be.
60.41.
Okay.
And 42 is where it's 12. $73.42.
Okay.
43. 38.43.
Okay.
36.44s.
Should be way more than that, I hope.
Oh, hold on. 12, 24. Yep, you're right. I don't see that. $72.44.
That's better.
Yeah, you knew that number was off.
Yeah, look, man.
How did you know that? Because
I set 78 of them. So
when you said 78, you know 40 of them was
yeah.
not
See, the
wrong.
reason I lost a lot of fertility and a lot of these babies died in the eggs, I didn't set these for 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks where the eggs just crosses. So
65.45.
normally I set eggs every 7 days. A lot of these eggs were up to, you know what I mean, 2 weeks old. So this is 2 weeks worth of eggs at the very, very end when the hen slowed down. So the fertility and shit will be way down from normal. Go ahead.
57.46s.
I recommend every 7 days to set at least.
How often do you collect?
We collect every night,
Every night.
but we didn't set these for 14 days
Okay.
26.47s.
because I wanted one big group of crossed eggs at the end.
24.48s.
Okay.
25.49s.
Okay.
45.50s.
Okay.
And one egg that says WH.
Yeah, I got it.
World champion.
Alrighty.
Like a whitehead.
White hackle. That's John's eggs.
So Gator, what are you about to
Got
do
good
now?
news. Your white hackle egg's fertile.
Huh?
Your egg is fertile.
It is fertile.
Want to eat it?
You said it ain't fertile?
No, it is fertile.
Oh.
You can eat it like balut, man. We can cool that thing down.
All right, Gator, what is this right here?
Disinfectant.
Is this the only time you spray the eggs?
Nope, I spray them when I put them in the hat or in the incubator. I spray them after I candle them and before I put them in the hatchery.
All right.
And
So
also the hatchery gets cleaned and disinfected between every hatch also.
Why is that important?
Yeah, Gator, why is that important?
Because what happens is basically an incubator would sit there and cook germs, incubate germs the same as it is an egg. And what happens when they penetrate that membrane, a lot of times whatever bacteria or whatever you've grown in there and you haven't kept down or killed will basically kill the baby. At one time I was having huge problems as the season went with hatch rates and wouldn't come out of the egg. And actually Jeremy Chandler taught me about this. And when I learned that, I mean, the hatch rates jumped right back up to what they're supposed to be.
Just by disinfecting them. Huh?
Absolutely. So we do it. Now we'll put lids on all of them, Mario. If you want to do that, I'll get the hatcher set up. Take a big whiff of it, it'll clear your lungs out.
And these trays are built for this incubator. So basically, I mean for the hatcher. So all trays are going to be different. It all depends on your hatcher. Will determine on the size of the trays.
I started out, the first ones I ever made, I made out of metal, and I've had a lot better luck with these. You know, they're just easier to work with.
Is these treated wood or is it just basically stained?
It's regular wood with spar polyurethane.
This one's broke, does it matter?
No, it'll be fine. We'll get it later.
Or you want me to switch it?
No, it's fine.
So what, we hand them to you?
No, I'll get them. I'm afraid of the handoff. I'll drop one. That'd be hell if I drop one.
I'll go for these to grab them.
Ooh, oh yeah, don't do that. Oh, you about to give me a heart attack, Joe.
I'll watch you do that. I can't for it. It's not like after I hurt his feelings. Maybe that's why. But I was just kidding around. I wouldn't say it seriously.
What's
So
that?
we see you putting blocks in between these trays.
It helps keep airflow going.
Keep airflow going, okay?
Main thing is airflow. Ready?
Yep.
That's it. Nighty night till next year.
The incubator's done for the year, huh? For the season.
That's the last one. Gracias a Dios. Let me see here. Those are the oldest. Orange will be the next. Let's do it here. These will be a week older than the last group. These have already been through the antibiotic. They've done the Toltrazural medicine for 2 days. Now they're back on Electrofowl and Corid until they get turned loose. Try not to spill this water. We feed and water babies 3 times a day. It's the first thing we do in the day, the last thing we do at night, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody's got their own program. I know there's guys that don't believe in any medicine. There's some guys believe in more medicine than me. Do what works for you. I mean, if you want to comment and say that no medicine or all natural, blah, 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 I would love to see anybody raise the amount of chicks I have with no medicine. If you can do it, more power to you. You're not going to convince me it's possible. But anyway, so we'll go from that. Now these are the oldest ones. These are getting turned loose Tuesday. There's approximately 75 to 85 babies each. If you notice, for the age and the amount of babies I got in here, there's very little feather picking. There's a few little scrubby ones, but most of them, in general, for the amount in here, they look pretty good.
And what would you contribute of them not pecking feathers? Because, like I say, I see...
What controls feather picking?
Yeah.
What, is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 things that I believe control feather picking. The amount of light, the type of light, heat, if it's too hot, and health. Believe it or not, if you take baby chicks and they're not healthy, they'll start pecking before healthy babies will. If they're healthy, they don't seem to eat each other. If you get a group that starts, let's say they get coccidiosis or something starts running through them, they'll go to eating each other. That's just my take on it. That's what I found. It's the amount of light. Like if you notice there's green lights in here, when we close that door, and which we will here in a minute, we'll film it. There's no other lighting in here. These stay on 24 hours a day. They can eat, drink, do everything they have to do, but they can't see colors with green. They can't see red, and I've had no feather picking problems. So we'll shut it all up here in a minute, and I'll show you what the normal ambient light is in this room.
All right, one more time, Gator. Go through this one more time.
Okay. The first week, the first 7 days they're in here, LS50 and vitamins, which I used to use promoter, so that's what you'll see on this tag. I now use Electrofowl, which I'll show you the bag over here. It has a lot better probiotics than promoter. This has really, really good vitamins, but it doesn't have the probiotics, so I switched to Electrofowl. Second, like 2 weeks, we do vitamin water and Corid. You can see the amount of days. Phosphotrim is an antibiotic. You can use any antibiotic, just 5 days. Coxygem is Toltrazural. Anything, you can use Coxybuster. I don't give a shit. I'm not promoting any certain products. I'm not like that. I'm just telling you Toltrazural is the base for 2 days. And then vitamin water and Corid, which is Electrofowl and Prolium, until they go out. And that's what I've had the best luck on. Like I said, we feed and water 3 times a day. If they run out of food, obviously they're going to go to pecking. If they run out of water, they're going to go to pecking. The less stress, the better.
And the lights play a big role, heat play a big role, and health play a big role.
Absolutely. That's what I found. Anything other than that, I haven't seen them make a difference.
And you hatch around how many this season?
6,000 to 7,000.
6,000 to 7,000.
Well, we've already turned loose, I think 2,400.
23,
So this is what I have, plus the eggs we just set, and then
Right.
20. And also, we have all baby sex, or all the crosses are sexed that are day old. So.
Gotcha. Show us some of the products that you was using.
Okay. This is how we do it. This is how I maintain a system. So I can teach you in 5 minutes to come in here and take care of babies. We have 3 or 4 different people at different times a day that are responsible. So like each jug, this is LS50 and promoter. It's actually Electrofowl and LS50, but it doesn't matter. Everything's labeled the same. So these go to the groups there. Once that, this is Electrofowl, this is vitamin water, and then these will be phospho and coxy. So we fill these jugs, and then we're ready for the next time. So,
And the system is put in place so regardless of who comes in here, they can look at the tags on the brooders, look at the names on the bottles, and they'll be able to.
absolutely. There's one. There's that. Or, I don't have any big bottles of antibiotic, but this is just corded. The Amprolium is corded. Lincomycin, spectomycin. And then the antibiotics, I mean, I'm not pushing any certain antibiotics. I'm not pushing any certain toltrazole medicine. I don't care, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously they're all the same if they have an ingredient in them. So that's what we got. And that's it.
All right, you want to turn out the light so everybody can see exactly what you were saying?
This is, and you'll hear them, they'll quiet down. This is what it stays 24 hours a day, except for if we're in here working.
And what you think the temperature in here right now is?
I'm saying 75.
75, okay.
If it starts, and you see, I've got 2 fans pulling humidity out of here, because if you don't have fans of good circulation, what happens, the humidity will get super, super high in here with all these babies, and the stench is horrible. So. There's no problem. No problem.
Gator, what size is this room?
It's 20. This building is 24 by 24, I believe.
24 by 24?
Yeah, it's okay. These only been loose 3 or 4 days. Well, they're not loose. They've been outside 3 or 4 days.
So they go in here first before they get free ranged.
Well, what happens is I put this cage on here so that they're used to eating, drinking, and they sleep in there. And then in about 6, 7 days, I pull this box off here and they're loose. And you'll see some, occasionally they're scragglers. I mean, just like anything else, the healthiest ones survive, the other ones fall to the wayside. That's it, I don't baby them at this point. At this point, Mother Nature gets her share of them too. So that's how we do it. Now they're all the way over in them woods. You know what I mean? Some of them chill in the box, but like these 2 little pullets here, they're sitting there dust bathing.